Hey guys, this is Mr. Drabinski, and in week 4 we're going to be looking a little bit more at the relationship between exponents and radicals. The skill we're going to practice here is to rewrite exponents in radical form. What you should know there is the rule, the radical to exponent rule, that if you have some number and you have a fractional exponent, say a over b, your denominator is always acting as the index of the radical, and your numerator is acting as the exponent of the radicand. In this case, n is the radicand, so n is going to be raised to the a power. So if you want to rewrite n to the power of a over b as a radical, you can rewrite it as the b, since b is the index, the b root of n to the power of a. And it's just as simple as that. So if you have a to the power of 2/3, the 3 is acting as the index, so this is going to be a cube root of 8 to the power of the numerator, which is 2, or it's perfectly acceptable to also write this as the cube root of 64, because 8 squared is 64. One more example. You have 5 to the power of 3 over 2. So the index is 2, so that makes it a square root. Keep in mind, if it's a square root, it's not necessary to put an index because it's assumed that it's a square. The radicand is 5, and then the numerator is acting as the exponent, so it's the square root of 5 to the 3rd, or you can write it as the square root of 125, because that's 5 to the 3rd. In this last example, we're going to take 1 over the power of 2 to the power of 3 over 2. So in this case, you got a fraction, and then the denominator here is also an exponent that's a fraction. Keep in mind from previous learning the exponent product rule, which says something like 1 over n to the power of anything is also equal to n to the negative. So if you have 1 over n to the x, it's also equal to n to the negative x, and those are equivalent, which means for this example, you could also write this as 2 to the negative 3 over 2. And then let's apply the same ideas in the previous two examples. You have an index, the denominator is 2, so it's going to be the square root of 2. But in this case, since it's negative, our exponent is going to be negative 3, which we can simplify down as the square root of 2 to the negative 3 can also be written as 1 over 2 to the 3rd. And 2 to the 3rd is 8, so let's write it as the square root of 1/8 in radical form.